Good evening. Welcome to the Pizza Roundtable, part of the I Need Pizza Club network, where every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific, right? That's how that math works. We talk about the best pizza news and happenings in the industry. I am one of your hosts this evening, Jim Mumford, joined by Anna Crucitt. Anna, good evening. How are you? How are things?
So well. So
Yeah,
hot in Pittsburgh. Great for our gelato sales.
I can imagine you're probably getting 2 scoops on average this week, if not more. And we'll talk about how tough it is to own or operate in this heat. But yeah, it's 100 plus here. I'm sure the same
Yes.
for you. Is it been an exceptional challenge for you just to run, or is it just as much gelato as you can sell?
It's been a challenge. I mean, honestly, just with the air conditioning in both locations. So it's hot. The staff is hot. We're hot, but the lines are long and they keep moving and people are excited to eat it. So we're all just dealing. You can be hot and eat gelato, or you can be hot and sit outside.
Exactly. And you might as well have some world-class gelato. And that's not an opinion, that is a fact, by the way, that you might as well have some of that while you get into it. So, well, that's amazing. We've got a bunch of articles to get into, but the first I wanted to get into is actually a callback from last week. So recall that we talked about pizza logs. We talked about the pizza logs they're basically pizza egg rolls, right? And Arthur came on the after show and talked about it's a thing in Buffalo, apparently. I found some. They are exactly what you think they would be. They are pizza egg rolls. I have not had one yet. I'm going to do this live. I'm going to burn my mouth for everyone and mute myself in case bad words come out, but we're going to try it. So let's split one open. Let's just see. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I expected it to be. There's sauce in there. It is like a mozzarella stick with,
Pepperoni?
yeah.
Cool.
Oh my goodness, that's so good. It's exactly what you expect it to be, and nothing you don't. It's a mozzarella stick wrapped in pepperoni, fried in a wonton wrapper.
How could that
That
be bad?
that is so good. I am ashamed I didn't know about these sooner. Oh my gosh.
I have to find out where in Pittsburgh I can get them, or I can just make it. But
If I
I'll
can get them in Michigan, I mean, you should be
sure.
able to. My goodness. So I promised everyone I would find pizza logs. Arthur helped us find it. We did. And that is my mouth is burned. They are good. I hope you make them. I think if you made them and it wasn't, something that was frozen and shipped halfway across the country, that would be incredible. But yeah, it's a mozzarella stick with sauce and pepperoni in a crispy shell. And it's awesome. And I'm
Right.
glad I'm a better person for trying that. And I'm gonna eat
Things we're
probably
learning.
we are learning. Listen, this is a learning expedition here this week. So yeah, boy, that it's not wrapped in bacon and covered in blue cheese. I'm sorry, I didn't go that full send. You got to try the base and
Yes.
scientific
Oh
method.
wait,
But
they make that one.
yeah, so that's what we covered last week was the one where covered wrapped in bacon and the blue
I
cheese.
meant like at the place where you bought that.
No, they
Where
have
they
a
don't make.
buffalo chicken,
Got it.
which has the blue cheese, which honestly can't be bad. But no, I see why the wrapped in bacon. I see why it's a thing.
Hmm.
But goodness, that I'm gonna eat all of those as soon as we're done, and probably two more.
And they'll be cold.
I don't care. I knew they would be good, my friend. I didn't think it would be that good. So congratulations to
I'm
the
a
whole
little
pizza log.
jelly.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous on your behalf. Those are good. We'll find some for you so you can try. Actually, you can make them. You make them. You're an artist, and I'm sure you
I'm
can.
thinking in my how, just make
Yeah,
them.
you got it. Wow. Gonna be hard to think about anything else after this, by the way. But we have 6 articles this evening. Do you have a preference which one you start with? I have a preference which one we start with.
I don't. I
Yeah,
didn't.
well,
I was marginally preoccupied today. I didn't really take a look that in.
yeah. Well, we looked at so I will be the selfish one. What an article about a Kalamazoo style pizza, one man's quest to create a hometown pizza style. This is courtesy of PMQ.
Oh.
Charlie Pogakar, friend of the pod, wrote this. And, oh my gosh, it's about me. What I talk about in this lovely book here, available now. Yeah, again, shameless plug.
Just get after it.
Yeah, just get after at this point. Regional styles, but one style that I created in the book was Kalamazoo style, which isn't a thing. but Kalamazoo, which sits halfway between Detroit and Chicago. I kind of have leftovers of each style as I was testing. I morphed them all together into a pizza, and I came up with this thing that was arguably the best pizza in the book. I didn't intend it to. It's got, the frico of a Detroit. It's got, the dough of a Chicago pan, but it's got the sauce and the vibe of a tavern. And
Yeah.
it was good. It's really good. And I was kind of forced to put it in there. So thanks to Charlie for kind of including this article. Pretty fun. That's me looking at wistfully at some nonstick spray as I'm about to bake said pizza. But yeah, so kind of fun. Had to throw it. That is the only style in my book that is not an actual thing, though I am very close with a couple pizzerias to try and make that a thing in the area. This is how trends start, right? Someday a Michigan historian is going to say this guy on the
Yes.
podcast said that he invented it. So it's got the streaks like the Detroit, and it's got
I'm
the cup,
gonna start making it in Pittsburgh, and so then we'll never really know where it started.
and people in 50 years are arguing
Well,
and
like, it was
who
from
did
this girl in
better.
Pittsburgh for sure.
Yeah, I honestly, if you made this, it would be way better than the one I made here. I guarantee that. But fun. Well, thank you, Charlie. And again, I had to, anytime you're on PMQ, you have to highlight that. So I don't feel too bad about
That's awesome.
that. Yeah, thank you. So moving on to one I think, we were kind of talking about before we started, and we'll get into it. And I could have picked one of probably 1,000 articles, but this one courtesy of wearegreenbay.com. Due to upcoming heat wave, popular Green Bay pizza place to close for one day. So, here in, kind of the greater Midwest and even out east, right, it's been in the upper 90s, 100 degrees. So, and I included this one because I wanted your take. How hard is it to run a pizza shop when the temperatures are triple digits? I mean, it has to be impossible, right?
It's so hot. It's beyond. I mean, the only saving grace is that we just have some fans. We have 3 air conditioning units in our one location, and they are doing their best at pulling the heat, but it's still inside, 79, 82 degrees, which when you're coming in from 102 degrees feels comfortable. But then when you're sitting there, you're like, this is so hot. And
Yeah.
then also in Pittsburgh, it's just sticky
Yeah.
sticky and hot. So it is a challenge, and I totally see closing. I mean, if that would have been in the realm of possibilities for us, we would have, but we still had customers coming in and they were totally fine with it. So, and our staff is happy to work.
Yeah. Well, good for you. How hot was it in the back of the house? I mean, it had to be 90s, right? I mean,
Yes. So in front of our range was the hottest, obviously the hottest part next to being in front of the wood fired oven. But to be fair, I don't think standing in front of the wood oven felt any differently. Like it just felt hot all the same.
right.
But in the kitchen was really hot. Our dish pit, which is generally really, really hot, was like the coldest place or the coolest place of the entire like kitchen. So
Wild.
we were like, when is that the case? Because the dish pit's always so hot.
Always hot and muggy, and you got so much moisture there.
Moisture back there.
I do wonder because I had a pizza party this past Sunday. I had that moment of panic where I can't turn on the oven because it's 98 degrees outside. I have to do all of this outside. I do wonder at one point people is just like, I need to go out. I need to order. I can't cook because it's way too hot. And
Right.
you actually see that spike in sales where it's almost counterintuitive where 85 degrees maybe you wouldn't or something. But I good on you for having it. But I also respect Jake's for saying we can't
Yeah.
do it. It's not safe. It's not palatable. Um, I'm guessing they also didn't sell gelato, which probably may be a factor. But yeah, I just wanted to get your perspective because I know you said I think you do have AC or some sort of climate control, but if you didn't, I mean, it'll
Well,
be
the other part is we do have it, but at our Shady Side location, it's such a small area anyway that you open the door and it's just like the heat comes in. And so outside of it, it's just hot. You have the oven in the back and you have the heat from the outside coming in the front door. I mean, yesterday it was just as hot as it was today, and it was bumping in there. So
good
I
for you.
just let it
Hey,
go.
if you're gonna be hot, you might as well be busy, right?
Yes.
Good for you. I just want to get your take. And it stormed here, so hopefully it cooled off. It cooled off here, so hopefully it cools off for you, and that hits you.
Yeah, I'm
Hopefully,
kind of over rain though. We had like
yeah,
17
you
days of
did.
rain straight, so
Yeah,
it's like we'll just take the heat and the sun.
there you go. I like your style. Moving on, and this one I included not because you and I are huge fast food nuts. At least I am not, and I can assume you're not. But more of kind of the broader pizza space. So this is courtesy of Men's Journal. McDonald's preparing make a major announcement, and customers think it's a return of this cheesy fan fave. So jumping right to the crux of it, people think that McDonald's Canada is bringing back pizza, which wasn't really hasn't been a thing since the early 90s. So first off, I don't remember McDonald's having a pizza offering. Do you at all? Okay. Yeah, I researched it. It looked kind of like what you would see, right? Kind of a single serve pre-made heat and go kind of vibe. Why I thought this was kind of interesting. I wanted to get your impression, right? Because we've talked about how the regional chains are starting to contract, but kind of the bigger chains are trying to broaden and try to do all sorts of pizza adjacent kind of things to try to get more of that market. And I wonder if this is McDonald's, if true, their kind of way to say, hey, people like pizza, maybe we can kind of glom onto that market, right? And kind of get something people, adjacent and hit that nostalgia factor all in one.
Well, yeah, Panera just did this with their flatbread pizzas
Exactly.
2 years ago. It makes sense. And the other part of it is that you can charge it, a reasonable amount for it, and the margin on pizza is so great. And I feel like all of the elements of being able to like just reheat it and like the labor would be low for that because you're not like building it on the spot. So it would make sense for businesses who are trying to like bridge the gap between like burger meat and chicken and how the prices of that are going up to just kind of offset it with
Sure.
dough, sauce, and cheese.
Yeah, I see it, right? Because there are margins there, and every company's looking for margins. It's just, again, if true, I do wonder, right? Because, I think the other day, so someone asked me, hey, what do you think the next big trend? It was Michael, actually. Michael asked me, and I said, I think pizza adjacent foods are going to
Yes.
going to up. And here we find this article where I'm calling it pizza adjacent because it's not like what you make, but it's pizza adjacent. I think there's a market for this, right? Where people like pizza, it's familiar, and also, right, that price point's going to be pretty favorable. When I think things are, we're proven that, with food costs are a little bit tighter. So I think this might actually be true, and we'll watch it. And I'm not that far from Canada. I'll be in Canada in a couple weeks, and I will do my pizza log duty if McDonald's does return it. I will grab one and at least record something to see.
I'm so curious why I like kind of vaguely knew that this was a thing before. Like maybe I like read it or saw it somewhere, but I feel like they were small though. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
remember it
what
being
Google
big.
said. They were personal kind of 5 bite kind of vibe things that were kind of the proto bagel pizza kind of thing that you kind of get as a snack is what Google said. But I don't
Imagine
remember them.
gonna be great though. I mean, how I don't know. Maybe,
Maybe.
sometimes they surprise.
Maybe there's Charlie is in the chat. Charlie, we just talked about one of your articles. Apparently, there's a satirical podcast called "Whatever Happened to McDonald." Whatever happened to pizza at McDonald's that absolutely slaps. So yeah, so we're not the first ones on this trend. So I love that. Thank you, Charlie, for kind of giving that heads up. That's good. Next article, I like this one just because we talk about all the crazy things Domino's does, but this one I actually kind of wanted to highlight for a couple of reasons. A courtesy of Pizza Marketplace, Domino's or Domino's, depending where you're from, makes 3-year, $1 million commitment to No Kid Hungry program. Reading through, and it's exactly what the headline says, right? No Kid Hungry, which is a pretty broadly known charity to help just that, trying to feed kids of all ages. And Domino's going in for a multi-year $1 million pledge is kind kind of cool. And I want to get your take, but for me, right, we always cover Domino's gimmick every time, but to see openly, hey, we're gonna pledge a lot of money over a lot of years I don't know. It kind of warms my heart more than just a normal charity, because it feels like they're more than just maybe, the gimmicks and trying a thing, that they're actually, there's some altruism behind it. So I highlight this. Am I being too optimistic and naive, Anna, or is this actually kind of? I don't think anyone else does this big of commitments, do they?
Not, I mean, not that I know of.
Right.
But this is really nice. I mean, it says in the article there's 31 million kids nationwide that are going to benefit from it. I mean, kids love pizza and it's tied to summer programs. I think that people forget that there are a lot of kids that eat at school, breakfast and lunch, and then they're home for summer and might not have that meal. So for Domino's to support the kids is really nice. And that's a nice chunk of change. That's a lot of money.
It
$1 million.
is, right? And you always see, like, we'll do like 10 grand, but that's,
Right.
not only just the amount for the year. So yeah, I thought this was good. And, I feel like we might maybe pick on Domino's sometimes, but you gotta give them props here that they're putting the money where their pizza is. And I respect it. That was cool, right? You definitely have to highlight the wins. I think that's a cool win. So
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Next article. And this one I chose just for you. Eat this, not that. Pizza Hut, everyone's favorite pizzeria, just launched a new pizza you either love or hate. I think I know where I'm going to land. So we've talked about pineapple on pizza. It's tried, it worn out. But their newest drop is a spicy Hawaiian lovers pizza. All right. You're sitting down. Spicy marinara, ham, bacon, pineapple, jalapeno, and red chili flakes. Anna, tell me what this pizza would be. I'm going to read it again. Spicy marinara, ham, bacon, pineapple, jalapeno, and red chili flakes. That is their new pizza. I need your first thoughts.
Doesn't sound very new. Is that new? They don't make this already?
So you're saying, I guess, right, they're heading into the spicy element. You're kind of, you so you don't think this is that bold? You don't think it's that?
Particularly, I mean, I think pizzerias have been doing this
Okay.
pretty consistently, but sounds like there's a lot of heat on it. So I would say that that's maybe for Pizza Hut something different. I also think it's interesting because, in my opinion, I feel like people get Pizza Hut are more like with family oriented, and this does not seem like a family pizza. This seems like you're hitting a very specific, people in their, 40s, 50s, 60s, that demographic that might be reaching. Cuz I feel like my husband would like this pizza.
What a great point, because you're right. Pizza Hut, if you're ordering this, right, you're generally ordering it for, I think, like after a Little League game, right? You're ordering it for the crowd. But I don't think my kids wouldn't even be in the same room as this pizza.
Yeah.
So you're right. The interesting thing maybe isn't the combination, which I would try, but probably wouldn't gravitate too hard to. I think you probably have one or two, maybe two things, but I understand what they're doing. But you're right, who generally your demographic is probably doesn't align too much with who would be smashing this pizza.
I think that's the bold part of it, like I said.
Yeah.
But I don't know their menu too well, so maybe I do need to do a little bit more research on it. Do they have like a Hawaiian, just a streamlined Hawaiian without the jalapenos and the spicy red pepper?
They do. So they do. Yeah, they have a streamline, but it doesn't have and again, there's three spice elements, right? The spicy marinara, the red chili flakes, which it looks like they are generous, and then the
That doesn't look a
jalapenos.
little bit of spice. That looks
Yeah,
like a very heated pizza.
that's gonna punch you. So at that point, you're probably wishing for more pineapple at that point. I mean,
I
truly,
was
right?
just thinking that. But it's like you probably could have used bigger slices by now.
Probably, but three other lines: of meat lovers, a pepperoni lovers, and the veggie lovers. Those are not, groundbreaking. Those I think are pretty spectacular. But they're going hard in the lovers line, right? It's kind of a new, their
It's
new launch.
interesting.
Yeah, it is, right, because I feel like an artisan pizza, one or two toppings, right? People have said don't put more, and here they're, but again, right, it's the style of pizza. There's a second part to this article though, which I like. Pizza Hut does their pizza trends report, which I actually read. I think is really interesting. And they talk about styles of pizza, which I happen to know a little bit about. Got to do it again. But so they said 29% New York style was their favorite, Chicago deep dish at 22, and then Sicilian third. You could have given me 10 guesses. I wouldn't have put Sicilian third as 8% as your favorite. And I love to know who they polled because I don't even think anyone outside of the East Coast knows what a Sicilian is. But I was floored to see, first off, deep dish second, I guess, if you don't know another style, but Sicilian third blew me away.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't buy that. I mean, are a lot of their franchises on the East Coast that would be where the market's pulling from and it's just kind of skewed data?
I don't think so. I mean, I think Pizza Hut is more of a kind of a Midwest and South. Like you're not going Manhattan and walking down to Pizza Hut, right? I mean,
So I will say I have a friend who's Italian. I just saw her in Naples, hung out with me for a weekend, and said when she and her boyfriend came from Como to Miami, they had Pizza Hut and they like loved it so much.
hilarious. Which is probably complete change up, right?
And
But
we were like, what?
you sure? So that blew me away. And then it keeps going, right? I'm going to keep going to pizza trends. Pizza consumption, Kansas led the way. Pizza slices per month on average, 9.4 slices a month. And those are rookie numbers. If you're only eating 9.4 slices a month of pizza,
I had 9.4 last week.
right? Honestly. So, in North Dakota, South Dakota, West Virginia, Wisconsin, I think those are low numbers personally,
Yeah.
unless it's just Pizza Hut. But I think those are low
They
numbers.
really don't think that somewhere like New York has a high consumption of pizza. I mean, hell, even in Pittsburgh, we
Yeah.
eat pizza.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you call a slice. Like you're not eating nine
I
slices
just
of
think
deep
that
dish,
too. You know,
right?
maybe the slice is large. Maybe they
Yeah,
have like
maybe.
22-inch pizzas and their
Like
slices are very large.
like how you define the tavern style slice, you can't. But
Right.
interesting. And then Kentucky likes dipping their pizza in sauce. Okay, I think that tracks. Everyone ever it just does. I don't know why. I don't know why that makes sense. It just does.
I feel like people in Kentucky, they like
Yeah,
sauces.
yeah, they like sauce. There you
I don't
go.
know
My
anyone
my
in
friends
Kentucky.
in Louisville can at me and can DM me and tell me why
I
I'm an
have to
idiot.
know.
Yeah. And then everyone likes people or 57% say they like cold pizza, which I think is low, but I mean
I think
cold
that's
pizza.
low. I love cold pizza,
So
and
good.
that is really just like a nostalgic afterthought. Like I have, and specifically for Sicilian style, eating it never refrigerated. God help, it just sits on the counter.
Yes.
It's room temperature. You eat it the next day. It's even a little hard. It's
Mhm.
chewy. It's lost a lot of the moisture, and it's so good.
You kept it on the counter. We kept it in the cold oven. You kept it on the counter. Good for you. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all the same food safety wise, but we did it, right? That's what you did.
I'm like, why did I think that was acceptable? I mean, I guess I was an adult when I was doing that, but like as an older adult, I feel
Yeah.
like I am
We
certified
just
in food
kept
safety.
it.
You should have made better choices. And I do feel bad that I'm not giving my children that same experience because they do deserve it. So maybe I'll just do it a couple times for
I,
them.
yeah, it's hardening their immune system, honestly. It's a gift.
It is.
I'm glad you had that same experience because yeah, you pizza box didn't fit in the fridge, went in the
Oh,
oven or on
no.
the counter, and but
Just sat
then you
there.
knew you had to get to it, right?
Yeah.
Because after about a day, it was too hard to eat.
Yes.
Um,
And the cheese was like a little
a
not so
little, yeah,
thing, but when you bit into it, it didn't slide anywhere.
no,
It
it was
stayed
just
put.
one kind of homogenous glory. We're not that different, from different places, but I love it. Last article, and this is a callback. So recall a couple weeks ago we talked about the robots at the Columbus airport from Donatos, right? And
Yes.
we talked about, remember, it's outside the gate, and would this work? Why are they doing this? Well, Axios.com, they tried it. Robots made me Donatos pizza, and it tasted great. So first, I actually wanted to see the booth. I just kind of stop here because this is cool, right? Because this is all obviously right a virtual kind of ordering system with the robots kind of shoved in there, right? So kind of a very high tech vending machine. Not to bring it down, but that's what
Yeah,
this
but no,
looks
we
like,
got
right?
it. Yeah.
So we talked about first. So cooked a 10-inch pizza in just over 10 minutes. It's been open for 2 weeks. You scan a QR code to place an order, cheese or pepperoni. That's pretty standard. Robotic arm pulls out pre-rolled dough out of a refrigerator, sends it through machinery to layer on sauce and toppings, shakes on parm before sending it through the oven, puts it in the cutting machine, cardboard box you get with your code. Yeah, that looks like pretty good pie.
Great. That's a solid pepperoni too.
I mean, they're not skipping on toppings. That looks well cooked. Pizza was a perfect temperature, tasted as good, if not better, than ones I've picked up from local Donato's restaurants.
That's so impressive.
So I like this picture. Like, this reminds me like a droid from Star Wars, right? Just like making this thing. But we were apprehensive of maybe the cost savings, but as a marketing kind of thing, we thought it was cool. And hey, if they're putting out good pies, I think that's pretty cool.
The whole goal is just for people to eat good pizza, really,
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's so
So
neat.
yeah, a little window through it, and I'm cool at work. I don't think we're going to see them everywhere. I don't think you're going to be hiring robots in the back of the house
Columbus
anytime
Airport.
soon. But yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, at Columbus of all places, right? But
Are you going to Pizza Expo, Columbus?
I am not. But if I was, I would
Then maybe
be
we could
taking
take
my
a
own
road trip
pictures.
to the airport.
It's probably not that far. It's only like 6 hours for me. Probably the same for you.
Four
Probably
and a
less
half.
for you. Yeah,
4.5 hours from me. So maybe I'll just take like a detour.
detour and try. I mean, it's outside security, so
Maybe that's why, because all the people talking
my
about
gosh.
it now have access to this.
There we go. Now you're thinking that's probably why.
Because it's like people get off of their flight, they just want to get their bags, and then we get some pizza so they can take it home.
I love it. But it's cool. It's rare that we get to follow up on stories, and we got to follow up on two of them this week, which I actually really enjoyed. Um, yeah, that's been the fastest half hour of my life, and yet longest because I'm waiting to get into these.
Cold,
Where
better.
they are, I can't confirm cold. Where can we find you on social media?
My restaurant is at Mercuria's PGH, and I am Anna.Crucitt.
Love
To
it.
see some fun things.
Yes. I am Jim Cook's Food Good, wherever you get your content. If you happen to like pizza books, last time I'll do it, Michael, I promise. A Pizzapedia on sale now. Thank you. Featuring Mercurios, right? And Anna
Yeah.
on page, I think, like 88 on there towards the front. And of course, you follow I Need Pizza Club on Instagram and everywhere else. Podcasts, please like, rate, subscribe. YouTube, give us all the love. After show on Clubhouse right after this. And of course, please tune in next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for another episode of the Pizza Roundtable. Good night, everybody.
Bye.